What's going on, everybody? No hat for this video. I don't feel like putting a hat on because I just took a shower and I hate wearing hats with wet hair. Also, I'm pretty sick. I don't know if you noticed that, but if you're annoyed by my voice, sorry. But in tonight's video, I'm gonna be rehauling this guy. This is a dollar store pumpkin that you can find anywhere. I shouldn't just say dollar store. It costs $1. You can find it at Walmart, Target. I got this at the dollar store. They're pretty much all the same thing. I'm gonna be making it into a jack-o'-lantern. Dramatic drink right there. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's get to it. Alright, so what I'm gonna start off by doing is I have this reference photo of the Halloween 6 pumpkin, because I think that's like a really cool, menacing pumpkin. Obviously, you can do anything you want. This is just like a tutorial, I guess, for the Halloween 6 pumpkin. But what I'm going to do is trace out with this Sharpie the face of the pumpkin using that reference photo. And then I'm going to take my utility knife and cut it out, and I'll show you the step-by-step process within that. I also forgot to mention, what you could actually do is you could take like the entire pumpkin and then spray it with like this Krylon gloss pumpkin orange, just to get like any at the bottom. You can see where the paint is kind of peeled up, anywhere around it if you needed to. I wouldn't like do that because then you could wipe out like a lot of the detail on it. So if you were to do it, I'd say lightly mist it. I wouldn't go, you know, full on drippy drip, I guess. But it's whatever you want to do what you want to do. Yeah. Alright guys, so if you guys can see, I actually traced out the shape from the reference photo. I actually gotta come clean with you guys. I didn't trace it out, my dad did, because I'm a horrible freehander, but that's besides the point. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my utility knife, and you could use an X-Acto knife. If you hear any noise, like outside, that's my, you know, Eufy or Roomba, whatever it is, vacuuming outside my door. So sorry about that. But yeah, I'm gonna hollow out. I'm not gonna really hollow out. You could hollow out if you were really like skilled, but it'd be too meticulous, too tedious to do. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut deep, deep enough, but not like too deep. So I can, like, later I can take like an acrylic paint and paint like the inside of it black, which I think would be a lot more cool, a lot more menacing than just hollowing out the entire inside. I suppose you could, but again, it'd be a lot more hard to do. Also, what I do want to tell you guys is when you start to cut it, styrofoam is like, it's kind of really crazy, so you're gonna get like kind of crinkled cuts if you are like me and you can't like freehand or be careful holding anything in your hand for like a long time without, like, you know, moving it a lot. But that's kind of how the H6 pumpkin is. It's kind of like really crooked and it's kind of pretty sloppy. So I guess it's a pro, it can be a con, it's whatever. Also, when you cut like the entire shape out, it's not just gonna come out because it's styrofoam and it's not hollow on the inside. So what you're gonna have to do is like scrape it out with the X-Acto knife and then like sort of clean up the edges, clean up the inside as you go. So I'm gonna do that for you guys really quick. Alright guys, I kind of feel pretty stupid because once I started to hollow this out, I went like deep enough. I thought it wasn't like hollow at all because this is like such a tough and like hard styrofoam, but actually when I went deep in, as you can see, it's pretty hollow. There's like a toothpick holding the stem in. So what I'm actually gonna do, I'm gonna stop carving this right now. I'm actually gonna go on the top and cut out this circle. It's more like an oval, but I'm gonna cut it out and I'm gonna see how well that goes before I proceed with cutting like the rest of this jack-o'-lantern out. Alright folks, my camera actually just focused, so I cut off the top, and yeah, there's a bunch of like styrofoam that I cut off inside, but I cut off the top. I'm gonna proceed hollowing that out, carving it out, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Alright guys, so as you can see, I carved the entire jack-o'-lantern out, and I don't know if you can see it right now, but if I put like a shadow over it, you can see how kind of sloppy it is, but it's a styrofoam pumpkin. What are you gonna do, you know? But I'm not really disappointed. Again, it's like, it's a $1 styrofoam pumpkin, and I think it looks good. It looks kind of mangled, it looks sinister. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take you out into the garage for the next step, and I'll show you what that is. Alright, I actually zoomed the camera in so you could get a little bit of a better view. What I'm actually gonna do is, like, you can see where where the Sharpie's still there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this Krylon gloss pumpkin orange. If you don't have Krylon, or if Krylon's, you know, still there, definitely go with the Rust-Oleum. I go Rust-Oleum over Krylon, but I like the gloss pumpkin orange from Krylon. So I'm just gonna lightly mist it over these Sharpie lines, and I'll show you what that looks like after. Alright guys, so it's the next day. I completely let that orange dry, and it's kind of glossy as opposed to the rest of the mask, but you can't really tell, you know, if it was just as a decoration. So what I'm actually going to do, I was thinking of painting the inside with like a sort of yellow acrylic paint, but what I have is this Krylon satin meringue. I don't have like a bright gloss sun yellow by them. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take the spray paint and then spray it all into the pumpkin, like where it's supposed to be like sort of yellow inside, and I'll show you what that looks like when I do it. Alright, so change of plan, guys. I actually, when I started to spray that meringue in there, I don't know how well you can see that, but it wouldn't really color it. It would kind of just like rip up the bottom like that, and I don't know if it's because I was like doing like too heavy of a coat. But what I'm actually going to do, I'm not going to color the inside like that yellow color. I'm actually going to take this Payne Gray. You guys can't see that too well, but this Payne's Gray acrylic paint, it's basically a black, and I'm gonna take a paintbrush. I have like a 50 set paintbrush. They were pretty cheap, like 10 bucks. I'm gonna take one of those paintbrushes. It's gonna be pretty tedious, but I'm gonna try to paint all the inside of this black, and if that fails, then I don't know what the hell I'll do, but I'll figure something out. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I actually painted the entire inside that Payne's Gray. Now, to get like up here on the top, I didn't get over here because you don't really need to get over there. I actually like took a paintbrush and stuck it into the mouth. I didn't want to like mess up any teeth or anything. And then I fixated it like a way that I could get the paint to go on top of there. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that exact same paint mixture, not really a mixture, but that Payne's Gray, that basically black thing. And I don't want to say stipple, but I guess I'm going to stipple the entire inside of the mouth, the nose, and the eyes with that Payne's Gray. So I'm going to do that for you guys really quick. So I painted in like everywhere in between. It is a little still white, but you won't really notice if you put like a candle in it. So the next thing that I'm actually going to do, I'm going to take the same black paint on the paintbrush. I'm going to take a tissue. I'm going to wipe pretty much all of it off. And this is going to just be like a dry brush. I'm going to dry brush pretty much just in between here. And see, that's still too much, so I'm going to wipe it off the brush. But that's what I'm going to do. And if I overdo it, like I sort of just did right there, I'm going to take like a wet cloth and just wipe like most of it off and just continue putting it into the, I guess, sort of like bumps it has all over. And I'll do that for you guys really quick. Really quick, wanted to show you a side-to-side comparison. There's that side with all the black paint on it. And then here's the other side. You can see how well that black paint really emphasizes the bumps in the pumpkin. Okay, so putting that black in between all the bumps is done. You can see really how well that emphasized it. And then I'm actually going to zoom in for you guys so you can see how well it sort of got into the cracks. I don't know why it's not focusing. Now it's focusing. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this burnt umber acrylic paint. I wish I had sort of like a lighter brown, like maybe, I don't know, just a regular lighter brown, but it's whatever. I'm going to take my paintbrush and I'm going to paint just sort of at the bottom, like a little bit of that brown, I guess sort of essentially like a dry brush, just to get like that dirt and like mud sort of color, like it's been sitting out in like the pumpkin patch. Not all pumpkins have it, obviously, but some of them do. So I'm just gonna paint that on really quick, and that might be the last step. I might do a brown wash, I'm not too sure. I'll figure that out in a minute. So I dirtied the pumpkin up at the bottom with like that dirt color, and I actually mixed it with that black. I blotted it, I guess, around the pumpkin to just give it more of that dirt and grime look that some pumpkins should have. And I snipped off the toothpick that was in there. I just left a little bit so the stem could still stay intact. And I dirtied this stem up a little bit. I dirtied the top up. And what I actually did, I put that dirt mixture on there and I let it stay for about 5 to 10 seconds and then wiped it off. So now what you can do is find a handle and put it in there, and I'm going to give you some close-up shots.